Welcome to Things Invest, where we talk about investing, finance, and professional development. As a recording time of 6:48 p.m. on the Eastern Time, Ethereum coin trade $4,047, down about 0.36% so far. With respect to overall crypto market, on a pre-market perspective, we were relatively greenish, right? As we gained that momentum from the post-holiday type of affectation, right? And then as we durated during the day, we saw some, healthy activities in the buying pressure. And that was something that we have collectively observed on both the equity side and the obviously crypto side of the house. And as the 4 p.m. on the Eastern Time clock hits, where the equity market closes, you can see clearly that the aftermarket on both, the crypto side and the equity side is slowly normalizing or selling back down a little bit more. And the sell-off is a minimal one, not a significant one. You could see clearly on Dow Jones fronts down about 0.09% after market hours. Nasdaq is still green, up and away, up about 1.39 after market hours. But SPY, S&P 500, it is down about 0.08%. And at the same time, you could see that Bitcoin did break the 51,000 mark. We're currently hovering just about like $150 below that level. And the sell-off is more of a normalization plus a recent news, a public announcement from Joe Biden and also Dr. Fauci as well. And with respect to Dr. Fauci, he basically has publicly mentioned to a CNBC report saying that U.S. should consider a vaccine mandate for domestic air travel. So it seems like this is something that's in work and development. And also Joe Biden also publicly has spoken, I guess post-holiday, after Christmas and Boxing Day. He basically reinforced on his point based on I think it was the speech that we have had about a week ago, last Tuesday to be exact, where we heard from Joe Biden from himself that he has decided to allocate $500 million to provide aids on a federal level and on the state level to support domestic regions to set up vaccine stations in respective malls, to public centers, etc. Also deploy 1,000 troops from our obviously United States military force to support a regional domestic effort for the vaccine aids, right? Seems like he has given another emphasis into today's speech again, on basically saying that we need to be solving this COVID surge on a state level, and he basically has pledged publicly, saying that with the whole federal arm, the legislative arm specifically, this is his highest priority, and he's gonna have full federal support for fighting this COVID surge aids going forward. So it's a positive news, but obviously it sounds a little bit reactionary in a way. And obviously with the Dr. Fauci's announcement on the potential mandates for domestic air travel, that also hinders things a little bit. Whenever you hear more just reinforcement news around regulatory dynamics, especially with a mixture of pandemics, you obviously see some selling pressure across the board, not just specifically for one asset class versus another, but the entire financial market as a whole, right? So with respect to recording time of 6:51 p.m. on the Eastern Time, we're basically hovering and the wedge is still forming. The chart has not been broken yet, right? We're having a little bit tight, type of consolidation, right? The wedge is still in place, right? This either will go down to 3,850 or go up to 4,150, right? It seems like we're getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And as we form that tightness, right, we're gonna get that apex, soon. And as we form that apex, which based on the chart, we're seeing that that's basically the end of this year. It's logical that if this checks out, we should technically surge up by before New Year, or sometimes around like the first couple weeks of New Year's, right? So Bitcoin currently is hovering at the 50. Give the benefit of the doubt that we're at the 51 right now. We're basically $300 away from it. So still hovering away, the wedge is still in formation with the 50 out of 70, so not terrible in terms of incurring risk. But obviously, if you got in before, that was the better time, right? respect to Dogecoin, down about 1% right now. Anywhere from the 16 to below was still a better level. Right now, it's just trading around like the 19 cents. Again, not the best, not the worst, right? A lot of like mediocre levels in terms of like incurring risk. Cardano right now is at 150. We could see that we're still trying to search at the 56 out of 70. So the risk is definitely higher in comparisons to when we're selling off to like the 120. So I probably would not touch Cardano. I'll probably hold if you bought in at the dips, right? And learn to be patient and learn to also exercise not being greedy by taking some profits when you feel like it's logical. I think, we're almost getting up there. We're not like completely overbought yet, but we're at the 60 out of 70, so we're kind of getting in there. So it's up to your risk tolerance, right? Solana, seems like we sold back from the 200 mark, right? It seems like whatever goes up really, really fast comes down just as fast, right? You can see clearly how much we have given up ever since we hit the 204. Right now, we're curving down right now at the 54. So we're going to see more sell-off coming. And again, right, 155, 133 to 113 from here. XRP is up about 1% right now. Anywhere from 88 to 78 is still a better level. Right now is that, again, okay level, right? And I think we should be selling back down, knowing the fact that we try to, test $1 twice. And obviously several times historically, but this is a very difficult level to crack through. So I think the likelihood of actually coming back down is more likely than going back up, right? And polkadot right now is down about 1% as well. Anywhere from 26 to below is still a better level for us. Again, more mediocre levels. Not terrible, but not the best either. Algorand's up about close to 4% right now. Still surge up and away at the 57. So basically 60 out of 70. Not really ideal in terms of incurring risk at the moment, right? Because risk is all-time high. Not all-time high, but risk is higher than, like, way higher by like at least 15% compared to when we're selling off like just 2 Saturdays ago, right? Shiba Inu is currently up about 2% as well. Anywhere from 2,900 to below would be much better level for us. MACD down about 5% right now. At the moment right now, we're selling back down. It seems like the sell is going to keep going. Right now, we are still at the 62 out of 70, so that means we're going to come down to 175 to 143. First, we're going to test, obviously, the 240 as a first level consolidation. And then, obviously, we will test the $2 for obvious reasons because that's a flat number. But once 175 is where I would ideally incur risk at, right? AVAX down about 1.27%. Comparable. We're about to form a def cross, actually. So 81 to 60 is still a better level for us. Terra is selling off nicely. We hit that 103 earlier today. It seems like a lot of people took profit and kind of scared people away as well because people got this indicator that we're going to be on a sell-off coming, which I believe it is, right? And I think the first level will kind of consolidate first will be somewhere around like the 78. Ideally, for us, I think it makes more sense to buy at the 62 to 52 to 45 from here. And with respect to elrond, so these are levels that we have looked at earlier today. This is a new coverage, right? Seems like across the board for elrond is actually fairly okay in terms of incurring risk at the moment. Like the way that I've identified it here, let me just expand this chart for you guys. Right, make some revisions here and there, across the chart. We're having some normalization right now because of the obvious reasons that we just talked about. And I think elrond is actually not terrible to incur some risk at the moment. We do have a lot of substantive consolidation zones that were formed. And I think the respective level at the current level 272 is an okay level. It's fair. Is at the 40 out of 70 on the RSI scale. But obviously, if you go to 270, 267, that's below the 35 on RSI scale. That's a much better level for us, right? So it's a quick one today. I just want to let you guys know what's going on. It's my last one. This is my third one. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I was just like reading up the news. I was like, why not just come back on the camera to like just chat and just let you guys know what's going on. So I really appreciate you. Have a great night or good morning, depending on where you are. And stay tuned to come. Take care.